Philly, positioning itself among the best for new, diverse startups.
The community is there for each other.
What our area is doing to inspire and develop entrepreneurs. Plus, everything you need to start your own business. All this week on NBC 10 News Today. Count on it. Stay ahead of every storm with the free NBC 10 app. Track changing conditions in real time with live radar. Get weather alerts customized for your neighborhood and share your pics and videos. Download the free NBC 10 app now.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Chill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to get the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th of 26 saw the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated. What up, though, everybody out there in Radio Land? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm at the round table with my brother, B. Austin, in the building. Jimmy the Blueprint will be with us in just a few. It's NBA All-Star Weekend, people, so we'll go hoops heavy with this episode. So make sure you keep it locked right here as we give our perspectives on everything going on in the NBA and far-reaching around the world of sports. But if you want to get in on the conversation yourselves, you know what to do. Make sure you sign up right now for the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. Shout out to Skyview, who's in the chat room right now, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 5 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Before we get started, make sure that during the week when we're not live on the air that you check out archive episodes of our show at warroomsports.com, the War Room Sports mobile app, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google, most other places you do your podcast listening. Shout out to all of our brother and sister shows out there. Shout out to the homies over at the Broad Street Line, Roy and Chris. What up? Our homies, Tissue and the Tape podcast. What up? The homie Aaron Nixon, Mixing Up. What up? And everybody else affiliated with War Room Sports. B, what up, man? How you doing on this Love Day 2019?
I'm married.
Ain't no such thing. Like, you see, I'm on the air, don't you?
Yeah, that's when you single, ready to mingle, and you trying to figure out how you gonna hit 3 in a day. Never mind, yo.
When you still trying to GTD. You know what I mean? Like trying to get the job. Yeah, well, what's up? How's your week been going so far?
Man, it's all good. It's all good. Second week back in soccer training camp for my young boy. So we're excited about this upcoming season. He has a chance to play or try out for ODP, which is the Olympic Development Program. He don't know that, but we know that. And
dirty bastards.
We're excited.
That's what's up, man. We are, I guess, a little over 24 hours away for the possibility of the government shutdown. I hear they're not going to let it happen this time, but your president instead is going to be on his, issuing a state of emergency joint for something that's obviously not an emergency if we've gone this long going back and forth about it. But we'll see what that holds, man. Prayers out there to everybody who were affected last time, and we hope that people don't have to go through that again.
No.
But let's jump into – oh, wait, you want to say something about that real quick?
I just want to say that the president is unreal. For real.
Yeah. Yeah, President Tannen, he do what he want, when he want, how he want. So, at this point, we're pretty much used to it. This is, like I always say, I think to run for, win, hold that office is an ego-driven thing in itself. But I don't know if we've ever seen this type of an ego in the White House. Like, this dude takes it to a whole nother level. This whole wall thing is definitely, it's a shrine to himself, a legacy to the physical one.
My man ego is so big, it's like having 3 people in office at once.
he like 3 presidents. Sound like some of Doc Bay homies. he like 3 presidents.
I'm smacked you up, bum now.
That's not fair. He like 3 presidents. All right, man. Let's get into what we're here to do. Let's talk some sports, man. We got some hot topics for you guys. But before we do, got to let you know that Hot Topics are brought to you by MyBookie. For all you betting guys out there, or you degenerate gamblers. But let's talk real quick about how much money you guys can make betting on sports at MyBookie. The NBA and NHL seasons are into their second halves. We're all-star breaking it right now, but we all know the all-star break in the NBA comes, after the halfway point of the season. So if you haven't checked out MyBookie, this is a great time to do just that. Lay down some dough on the biggest games in sports. Even throw some dough out on, some prop bets on the NBA and NHL All-Star games. Join the War Room and thousands of other online players placing bets at mybookie.ag. You tired of getting the runaround from all these other services when it's time to get paid? That's why we urge you to join MyBookie. You win, they pay, fast, no hassles. Wasting your time betting anywhere else. They even have in-game live betting so you can place wagers after the game starts. Join now. MyBookie will match your first deposit with a 100% bonus. You heard it right. 100%. Just use promo code WARROOM, WARROOM, all caps. To activate this offer, visit mybookie.ag today. Play, win, and get paid. All right, in NFL news, man, Joe Flacco. Terms of the deal haven't been released because you can't even really make the trade official until I believe somewhere around March 13th. But Joe Flacco has been traded to the Denver Broncos. Thoughts on this real quick, man. I pretty much hold the opinion that, besides getting lucky on Peyton Manning hurting the nerves in his neck so much that even Indianapolis let him loose. So besides getting lucky on those 2 years, I think the Denver Broncos and John Elway in particular has been, how should I say this, failures at replacing John Elway himself. So all of these years between John Elway's retirement and now, I think the Denver Broncos have been shopping for a replacement to that legacy, and I think they've pretty much failed almost every time besides the lucky 2 years that they, got Peyton Manning in the fold. That first year was great, but even the year that they ended up winning the Super Bowl, that was led by the defense and not necessarily by great quarterback play. So what do you think of them grabbing Flacco right now at this particular age?
Based on what you just said, and I don't want to speak for you, so I'll reserve casting my opinion of or what I believe your opinion to be. I think they're headed down that same trail of failure, the trail of tears, because I know what Flacco does in the playoffs with a good to very good defense behind him. I've seen him play very well a couple times. But in the regular season, Joe Flacco is very close to mediocre. Very close to mediocre. And
well, I think that's how the pattern has trended in the last 5 years or so. Like, just average in the regular season, great if you can make it to the postseason. It's a weird mix, this guy here.
You know what? I definitely love clutch play. I know your legacy and legends are made in the playoffs. Case in point, we're sending Julian Edelman to the Hall of Very Good off of him catching passes on option routes from Tom Brady lined up against linebackers. I mean, I get it. But your regular season has to be weighted at least as important as playoffs, if not more so, because you play more of it. And so I've never really been impressed. I honestly, I think he's 2 steps up on Blake Bortles. Well, maybe further than that. But, okay, Case Keenum has proven to be he shouldn't be a starter, so he's gone. I don't see Joe Flacco as really an improvement. What are we doing? What are we trading for? What do you see in Flacco?
Blake Bortles, because the trade market out there, you know, a lot the quarterbacks that are expected to change teams this season include Blake Bortles, Nick Foles, Ryan Tannehill, Tyrod Taylor, and the likes. Denver seemed to, you know, have pounced on Joe Flacco, since we all know that Flacco has basically been replaced in Baltimore. But like you said, I don't know. I mean, but see, this is the thing right here. Like, you look at it I look at it as failure just because, like, we know how desperately this team has searched for a quarterback in the last 10, 15 years, right? So they really can't get it right in the draft. You know, they couldn't really get it right from free agency besides again, I say, you know, you get a legend in Peyton Manning, you get lucky on that front. See, but then I look at things like this, like, okay, I know that Joe Flacco has it in him, but is that how you want to go into the season? Especially, you know, the team just kind of wasted another good year from its defense, not being able to do much on the offensive side of the ball. So it's like, do you waste this trade going in saying, well, like, I know if Flacco gets hot or if Flacco does this. I mean, I guess he does have a huge chip on his shoulder right now, and I guess he would be playing to prove something. But I don't know. This just doesn't move the needle for me. It's hit or miss, because we do know, like you said, we know what he can do, what he is capable of. So it's pretty much hit or miss. Flacco's 34 years old.
To be capable of.
Yeah, he's 34 years old. There's no more guaranteed money on the big contract he signed. It carries a base salary of $18.5 million for this season coming up, $20.25 million, $20.25 million in 2020, and $24.25 million in 2021. So, like I said, it carries no more guaranteed money. So there's no guarantee that Flacco, you know, he could go in training camp, stink it up, and still get cut. And I don't believe they would be on the hook to pay him anything. But with that contract, if he does indeed make the team after the trade, like I said, we don't know the what this trade was for. They'll have to pay him a pretty hefty salary coming up.
Unless they plan on that they're going to bring into camp, I don't see anything on the roster that can beat him out. So I think it's fairly safe to assume he's going to make the roster. So he's in for a decent shake. But this goes back to what we always talk about with quarterbacks and quarterback play. You know, you've got at the top, right? So we could talk icon, legend, elite, and we could split hairs. But for the sake of this conversation, let's just lump them all into elite. You've got 4 elite guys that no matter what system they're in and no matter what situation, we believe their arm talent and ability can be relied on to win football games. Then you've got the next tier below that. These are good guys. Some games they can carry a team, but probably not for a whole season. And then you got the rest. And the rest range from game manager to bumdom, and there's just not a lot of quarterback talent out there where if you don't put them in the ideal situation, meaning they have a running game, they have defense, they got two receivers that can make plays and catches, like outside of like there aren't a lot of good to very good quarterbacks out there. Like there just aren't.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on in the NFL, safety Eric Reed, he signs a new 3-year deal with the Panthers. His extension, I think his extension was he's slated to make more than $22 million with $10 million in guarantees over the life of this 3-year contract. And he believes that it's a fair market. He believes that it's fair. What'd you say?
It's like 3 years, $33 million, or 3 years, $38 million. I forget the number, but it's one of those two, I think.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm not even counting the he's not guaranteed to get right now. So let's say, you know, he's guaranteed to make more than $22 million on this deal. He also said the contract. Now, if you understand this, you would have to explain this to me. He says the contract proves his point from last year that the NFL owners colluded against him. I'm not saying that there was no collusion involving him nor, you know, Colin Kaepernick, obviously, but I don't understand him saying that this contract proves collusion. You have like any insight on what he's talking about?
Yeah, I've had a couple conversations about this. His feeling is that when he was at his prime or absolute best, he couldn't get a job for standing with Cap. Now he's back in the league, and obviously he would probably argue that he's still at his best, but the numbers would say otherwise, and he gets this big deal. And when you look at the stats, he was actually ranked as like the 54th ranked safety in the NFL. So you're paying him all of that money now when he was cut because of standing with Kaepernick. He was a top 15 safety and a Pro Bowler. So his point, which didn't make a lot of sense in layman's terms, so you would have to read very deeply into this, but I think I get where he's going. He's like, okay, so now you're willing to pay me. Mm-hmm.
I'm reading it now, and he says nothing has changed. I'm still the same player. So it is along the lines of what you're saying. So he's basically saying they wouldn't sign me, you know, when I was producing this month. I come back week 4, and then I pretty much produce in the same way. I'm the same player, and now all of a sudden I'm getting a 3-year extension. So this proves that people – see, I don't know. I still don't think – I get what he's trying to say. I still don't think it's total proof of collusion.
No. I don't think it's proof. I think we get what he's trying to say. I think he's doing a bad job of saying.
Right. Now, in all actuality, I don't think that I personally don't think 32 teams actually got together and colluded against Colin Kaepernick myself. I think that there's an understanding out there that, you know, there's a lot of owners who have a certain ideology and they probably wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. And I believe that's a lot of the owners out there in the league. I think there's another contingency of teams where it's not necessarily that they're against them, but they're probably weighing risk versus reward. And they're wondering, even if we brought him in as a backup, because we know every time a third-string quarterback gets signed, we're all saying, well, he's not better than Kaepernick. But you also have to think from another perspective. Like, do you want your third-string or your second-string quarterback to be the biggest point of news on your team? Do you want to have to answer questions about your backup quarterback all the time? I'm not saying it's cool or it's fair. I'm just saying I just don't think that all 32 teams got together and say we are not going to give this guy a job. And it's kind of the same for Eric Reid, which is why somebody was willing to jump out there and grab him. Like, look, we need a safety, so it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? His news story isn't going to be as big as if we signed Colin Kaepernick himself. And there were teams that kicked the tires on Colin Kaepernick. We know that, Baltimore, a couple other teams, and they ended up not signing him for whatever reason. You know, maybe they were part of collusion. Maybe they were part of this contingency that I view as just nervous and afraid to be the ones to step out there. Or maybe they were just teams that, you know, did it to look like they weren't a part of either one of these groups. But it's a weird story. I always wonder I guess they're really cool, so I guess Cap is cool with him, you know, signing a deal, playing in the league, and all of that kind of stuff. It's just weird to me because, like I always say, we never hear from Colin Kaepernick really. So I don't know what he's good with at this point.
I think it's a bit of both. I think at owners' meetings, I think there is perhaps a group of owners that have had conversations, that have delved into this. I believe that. I also believe that what is understood doesn't have to be explained. And when you subscribe to the same culture, and the NFL has a culture, when you subscribe to the same culture, it's easily to implicitly communicate expectations and things that should be understood without blatantly coming out and saying it. And so with that being said, if you understand, they came to an understanding without having to sit around a round table like some Illuminati and discuss. They didn't have to do all of that. They're already a part of a culture, and that culture is such that what Colin Kaepernick was doing and what he stood for is contrary to that group of ownership and their culture. So it didn't take a whole bunch of conversations. They just knew. They understood. Listen, this guy, you already know he doesn't stand for what we stand for. And so, listen, guys, do the right thing. And so,
do you think there's any validity to the other perspective that I said? Because obviously, Skyview in the chat room, he didn't hear nothing I said. He said, Kaepernick, my Raiders have A.J. McCarron as a backup. Yeah, there's some collusion going on. But at the same time, A.J. McCarron as your backup versus Colin Kaepernick as your backup, nobody's ever going to talk about A.J. McCarron. Nobody in the locker room is ever going to have to answer questions about A.J. McCarron.
I'm not finding
A.J. McCarron's never going to be in the newspaper. So that's what I'm saying. Like, from that perspective.
Yeah, if Colin Kaepernick is on your team, whether he's third string, Colin Kaepernick could be practice squad, and he's going to get the most press immediately on your team. Like, they're going to be there for him. So that's easily understood. Listen, we don't want that type of news, that type of attention. And so it's easily understandable.
Even players who will go on record and say, oh, I don't mind being, it's not a distraction to be asked about this stuff. We know what they say publicly versus what they say privately. You know what I'm saying? And we've known some players in our day to be like, yo, I'm tired of answering questions about such and such. I understand my teammate had a domestic abuse thing. I got to answer questions about him every week. We know how players really feel sometimes. They don't speak what they really feel. So I was just wondering if that plays a part for some teams.
All right, I'm late to the party, so I don't know what y'all perspectives are. Are we still debating whether it's collusion or not?
Because we were saying that Eric Reid, he said his contract proves his point that there was collusion. My perspective was I believe that, there are a lot of owners who probably, had an agreement, had a wink-wink agreement, had this. But I also think that there's probably a contingency of teams out there who was just afraid. Like, if you're looking for a backup quarterback, per se, like, there's a lot of teams who probably like, look, I just can't deal with the distraction and the media circus over my backup. You know what I'm saying? And then I think there's other teams who may have kicked the tires on him, like Baltimore, who may have just been doing that to act like they weren't one of these teams to lose. I don't know.
Well, the other thing, though, a lot of people are going to use that as an excuse when they really are just like trying to keep them away. But here's the crazy part. The crazy part is
I don't doubt that either.
It's sort of like
I think it has to be a valid perspective for somebody.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. I mean, that was what they said about Michael Sam, right? Our teams were using that excuse for Michael Sam as well. But, it is what it is. The fact of the matter is, when you don't have any sort of control or a real at the table, it doesn't matter what they do. Because if we look at this from the perspective of, like, take what we're fighting for and all that out of it. If you look from a union perspective, you're being pooped on again. Like, their union gets bullied and has been getting bullied since the 70s. You're talking about someone who, talent-wise should be in the league and is not in the league now. All those other things aside, your union is getting bullied again. Where's the union at on this? But they've continually gotten bullied.
Yeah.
DeMar consistently had the weakest union in the league.
Just from his massive. Like, he's just a plant. To me, he's just a plant from the owners. But my perspective, Jimmy, what was this? What is understood doesn't have to be spoken, and I believe that ownership in the NFL, they are a part of a culture where they don't really have to sit around like a group of Illuminati. They're already subscribed to a culture where things are implicitly understood. So a whole lot of speaking words or communication doesn't even need to happen because, listen,
I agree with that.
Of what we agree to and believe in. Hence the reason there are no black owners in the NFL, because they know that those people from a cultural perspective come from a different vantage point and wouldn't subscribe to some of what they believe in.
I agree with you, and it's not even just like race is always an issue, right? Salute to Cornel West for that. Race is always an issue, but they're just not even as progressive. Even with the young white guys they bring in, they still have that mentality. They're not even a progressive organization overall. But they're slow to embrace a lot of things in the NBA. Even though you still don't have a lot of black owners, they're a more progressive league. And I mean, that may have also something to do with who pays their bills too, though, because they also study their demographics and they know who butters their bread. Because here's a funny fact, right? Here's a funny fact. You really think about this. The power isn't in us watching. The power is with the players. If every black person that watches the NFL stop watching the NFL, they're still going to it won't matter. We're the minority when it comes to watching the NFL. But let every black player decide they don't want to show up. That's when you'll see change. That's when you'll see change. You'll see change of every black player because that's for the power. The power is with the players.
That's that's why I'm always confused about this situation. Because, performers and, halftime performers and fans and all of these people got to ask Colin Kaepernick and Nessa's permission to watch the game or perform at the game. But, you know what I'm saying, there's no unity. I'm not trying to say I'm, expecting anything like that. Because dudes work their whole lives, and a lot of them can only do one thing well in life. And to sacrifice that, a lot of people are just not ready for that. But like Jimmy said, that's the only way that the needle is ever going to be moved in the situation. But the NFL did, and one of its teams did show again what's important in this life, because the Cleveland Browns signed Kareem Hunt this past week. So again, the league is showing that, the safety, a flag is in a song is way more important than the safety of women. Of which they said something a few years ago, like 49% of NFL fans are women, and they're showing them just how much they care about them because you can video
toxic,
beating up a chick,
too much toxic.
But as long as you,
but you know what crazy part?
Yeah, shout out to Terry Crews. But as long as you stand, if you don't stand for the flag, that's worse. You can't get back in the league.
But here's what's interesting is there wasn't as big of a backlash as I thought it would be. It really wasn't anything. There was no mute Kareem Hunt hashtags or anything. There were no new hashtag creators that came out of this. It's getting to the point where it's expected.
It's expected, and you know what, man, Jimmy? I think it's human nature to also judge the severity of a situation. Like Kareem Hunt went crazy, did the wrong thing, but truthfully, and I'm not saying I'm condoning it, I'm just saying what human nature is and what people are probably thinking. Like, that woman probably left that scene unscathed, no injuries, whereas people saw Ray Rice just straight up deck his wife, and it was way more horrific for everybody who witnessed it.
No, you're being toxic.
You know what I mean?
You're being toxic, man.
I'm not being toxic. I'm explaining toxic methodology is what I'm doing. I'm just explaining what these people think. And it's women included, though, because like you said, they could have carried this the way they carry everything else. They could have roofed Kareem Hunt like they roofed everybody else. But I think the women who judge this as well are probably in the back of their minds subconsciously looking at the severity or lack of severity in this situation. Now they're going to be mad at me now.
I believe that
into
at a certain level we can talk all of this Me Too. And it's actually refreshing, and it's a good thing to see. But people who are typically used to being in a certain position, particularly in a press position, they get used to that. They get used to that position. That's why we'll never see the players take a stand en masse with Colin Kaepernick, even though they're the ones with the power. It's just like the slaves on the plantation. They didn't realize that if you lead the uprising, there's far more of y'all than there are overseers and plantation owners. But
the thing is, B, it would probably only take 1 week. Everybody refused to come out the tunnel 1 week.
Yes.
They have something in place the next week where everything's more fair. Cap is back in the league.
And living. But
here's the crazy part.
Cats like Chris Long would be with it, but you have too many Floyd Mayweathers in the NFL. It's like, no, I ain't doing it.
Yeah. Yo, we can't even boycott a luxury clothing brand. So how we gonna do that, right? How we gonna boycott the league that's paying you?
Exactly.
The luxury brand, the luxury brand's not even paying you. You're paying them. Well. You still can't boycott. But you want to tell me to boycott my check? I'm getting $335,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? But we can't even have somebody that we have to pay for it. But like
your man Trump talking about government workers want this wall. They're happy to sacrifice their checks. Man, please.
Who you ask?
He tried to Brody a boycott. Like, come on, dog.
But Austin made a point that about oppressed people and how they maneuver and get used to it, and that's kind of the issue. The issue has never been, in the words of the Panthers, the power's in the people, and the power is always in the people. But the problem is organizing. Who can organize that, right?
People ask.
You have a culture. You talk about culture, like Austin also brought up the point that the owners have a culture where it ain't even got to be said. We doing this and we don't got to say nothing. We can't get to that point, right? And I call this. I got a theory. I call this like the I don't like to say this too much because I ain't trying to get a followed or nothing. But it's like you got to move like ISIS or Al Qaeda, man. Like they move the same way, man.
Are the feelings?
No, listen.
Opinions of one.
No. Listen to what I'm saying, though. People, what I'm saying this. Peep gang. What I'm saying is they move a certain way where it doesn't matter if you stop one. You can't beat them.
Right.
It's like the Viet Cong, right? The reason they kicked our ass is because when they move in a certain way and they have a certain belief system, you can't beat them.
Yeah, I mean, and then it's also the service the age, the level of play, because at this point, Colin Kaepernick, he had a decent showing the last time we saw him, but he's not anything the league needs, so they can roof him. Ray Rice was past his running back prime when he punched his wife in the face, so they can roof him. They don't need him. Kareem Hunt probably hadn't even touched his prime yet. They still need Kareem Hunt. So you let him do it. Let Patrick Mahomes, I wish he had the guts. Let Patrick Mahomes kneel for the flag. I guarantee you Patrick Mahomes won't be colluded against. So, yeah.
You know what?
Once they use you up and they don't need you.
You know what? That's an interesting point because I think that one of the powerful things about the NFL is I don't think anybody is above their shield, right? Not one player, right? So I think even if we take a Patrick Mahomes or we take a Drew Brees or even a Tom Brady, I think the league is going to move on just fine. I think the NBA, the players have a little bit more power, and they may lose that too. But there's certain cats in the league that it's just not going to work without. Like they're
that's
the
NBA's fault too.
NBA.
The NBA, like, damn, we marketed these players all this year. Now they bigger than us. We gotta throw a wrench in it.
The NFL is like it's about the listen. This country loves football so much that new league that just dropped, their ratings were doing better than basketball. Like because
but the funny thing is, Jim, there's reports out there that like some NFL owners have approached Adam Silver about being the commissioner of their league. So are they doing that because of his progressive approach? Or you know what I'm saying? Because you can't expect to bring Adam Silver in. He totally.
Here's what I can say about Adam Silver, right? What I can say about Adam Silver, the reason they probably approached him is because I read about Adam Silver in Fortune and Forbes as much as I do any sports magazine because Adam Silver gets that quan. He makes sure owners in the NBA get quan. They ain't even doing the numbers that football got, and them owners is making hand over fist. Adam Silver know how to get that bread.
It's a little bit.
Think about all this.
And you know, as much
NFL print money.
As much as we want to say,
they print money. They print money
Jim,
with Goodell.
Even when we're not drinking Pepsi, they print money in the NFL.
They print money when Goodell don't do nothing. Like Goodell hasn't done anything revolutionary or anything that to kind of change. He's just basically riding the ship. Like
that's true.
He got advertisements on the jerseys. He sold the whole minor league to like Gatorade. Like he got there like
Adam Silver has figured out the formula to allow a African American male dominated sport enough leeway to feel like, when they want to put some hoodies on or when they want to get up on a stage and say some poetical words, we'll let them, cool, and we'll let them bring a little bit more of their hippity-hoppity music into the fold, but we still keep them in line, and they won't do anything radical. So the NFL realizes that it's a little antiquated, and they're actually analyzing.
I think you're being a little too harsh on it. So I know
let me finish. They analyzed Nike. They saw the bet that Nike made and the win and tide that's coming for Nike. So the NFL realizes it's adapt or die. So we've got to adapt a stance that at least gives the perception that we're a little bit more progressive than we've been in the past. There's no more – the days of Gerald Jones being able to say, stand on the gun line, I'm your boss, are coming to a close, but you still can maintain that culture on the interior because you're not going to let any of those major players grab any of that wealth. And they're trying to figure out how to deal with LeBron because eventually LeBron's coming for a franchise, and he may be a little bit too much for them, so they're gonna try and get him under thumb. But in the NFL, they basically control it. Listen, you want to own an NFL franchise, you better really say you want to make America great again. Like, you got to be down.
Well, hold up, though. I just want to put out a point, right? I want to put out a point because I think that we joke about, like, the whole hoodie thing and all that, but I think historically that's going to be looked at a lot bigger than what we're giving it credit for now, because some of the ways, the condescending ways in which you say that are the same things that the pundits said about the Olympics when our brothers put their fists up. They talked about it the same way. But historically, that was
in the grand scheme of things. In 2019, though, we still looking at the Klan making a comeback, fascism going strong, and black men getting killed by the Pope the same way. So in the grand scheme of things,
all those things were in play then too, though, Austin. What I'm saying is all those things were in play then too. But how we look at that moment is a little bit different than what we're looking at this now because we're living through it, right? So I think a lot of moments that we're living through, we don't appreciate because we're living through it, right? At the time, black people alike.
But that moment is a beautiful artistic moment that captures the movement. But the reality is it wasn't the precipice of change. We didn't go over a cliff and experience some revolutionary
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is. But I'm saying what the NBA players are doing.
Ungodly.
What I'm saying is, like I listen. If you read the book, like that after that, it got nothing at all bad. But my point is, what you're saying, it didn't really change anything, no, but it did capture it. I think that's what we're living through now. Those moments will be captured too, because we can say, but there are more people that have become active politically, socially, right?
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that we don't really understand the weight of that hoodie moment and what they did, right? And I would turn back on you. We really don't understand the weight of who we have in office right now and what that really means.
I mean, didn't understand who we had when Nixon was in office either. His history told us that, right? So what I'm saying is when you live through the moments, you really can't see it one way or the other until you're able to reflect back on it years later. Because here's the thing, man, like it takes guts to do any of that. Even though, we want to like joke about them, and it's funny, like everybody can get these jokes, but it's listen. I've been to places now where they play the national anthem, and I don't stand up and sit, and it's like people stare at you. So I can only imagine, some of these players do like that. You've been to an arena to happen. So this has happened. It's kind of crazy, right?
Did that way before Cat. Now,
but no, that's my point. My point is now doing it.
You scared that somebody
now you gotta watch your
throw
back.
a rock at your head.
I'm like, I never stood up, not because I was being revolutionary, because I'm a lazy nigga. But I'm just saying, like, but now it's different. Now cats are staring at you like, you gonna get up? And I'm like, no, like, you know what I mean? Like, what is it gonna be? But so what? My whole point is, like, dudes are young dudes too, so they're doing. I just think that when we look back, it's going to be looked a little bit different. I mean, they still won't get these jokes, but I think it'll be looked at different because I'm just putting like what happened in the Olympics, and when you reflect on it, what was said then, a lot of our people at the time said they stupid, that bread. They should have ran and got that bread, got that sponsorship bread. But then as time passed, it started, like, when they came back home, like Dev said, they were ostracized by their own people. A lot of people looked crazy, but as time passed, same thing with Muhammad Ali. People love Muhammad Ali now, but no one wanted to be Muhammad Ali in the 60s when he was ostracized and treated like garbage. But history has a way of changing.
People was trying to tell him to conform. They was trying to make him conform.
Yeah. History has a way of changing things. That's all I'm saying.
Let's go to the phone lines because Tobias in the chat threatening everybody. We got Tobias on the lines from Arizona. What's up, Tobias?
Roll damn.
Glad you got. Hey, I'm glad y'all threatened me because I was gonna send Jimmy's Nubian queen on pictures of him googling over there. I'm kidding, but on that yacht, he's on that yacht around here like with his Kyrie jersey on. But
boycott. I'm gonna be a boy on a yacht.
But I heard like a couple of quick things. I like the NBA, for example. Everybody keeps calling the Lakers fire Luke Walton. I'm like idiots. He knows like 25 games left of the season. Brian Shaw, what the hell Brian Shaw gonna do? The team was doing fine till LeBron got hurt, Lonzo got hurt, we hurt defensively, and Rondo got hurt. And now LeBron's the only real ball handler and they say the offense right now. I'm just like, people going crazy just to go crazy, and they weren't winning the chip anyway. Let's see what these guys have and just roll with it. And if you don't want to bring back Luke next year, fine. But firing him now is not going to change anything, in my opinion.
I agree. And by the way, I was just watching like Hulu. I think Bron got a new TV show coming out on Hulu, like basketball, his second job.
Hey, you know basketball is LeBron. You remember when we was in high school they had that co-op?
Or was he taking?
Remember in high school we had that co-op where you go to high school half the day, then go to your job the rest of the day? That's LeBron.
Yo, basketball's the second job. Basketball LeBron's third job, man. He got at least
it's
job.
funny because I don't know if you guys remember that, but when he first signed,
sports agent,
and Rob got mad at me. I was like, "Yo, he ain't coming here for basketball reasons." Like, so who cares? He coming here for something else, man.
Yo,
LeBron,
right, while the Lakers were in Philadelphia, and LeBron played in this game, but while they were in Philadelphia preparing for the game, LeBron took a private jet to Charlottesville, Virginia, to watch Zion Williamson play. That's a straight up agent move. That's a scout move right there. Like, you have a game.
He's trying to get him on clutch.
Yeah, So Bron is a producer. Bron is an agent, and then Bron is finishing out his basketball career.
Yo, but that's why B. Austin said that's why they're gonna find a way to get him. They're not gonna let him succeed in LA for that reason. Because Bron, this bull is he's like Jim Bay said, like, maybe it's a good move for him. Like, we all know LeBron's his agent. Yo, he's getting too much power. They're gonna have to put him in place, man. You know, you guys remember in the book, but also the movie in the Malcolm X book when he showed up at the police station and he pointed his finger and they all walked away.
Right.
And said, man, that's too much power for one man to have. That's what they're gonna say. That's too much power for one to have. They're gonna straighten him out.
I gotta make a basketball point before I get on LeBron and his ownership. Actually, like your Sixers the other night, my dad was cussed at the TV because he said, Joel Embiid, get your big blankety blank ass in the post. The thing is, I think what happens when they talk about, hey, your center got to shoot threes, is that no, it's just having the ability to do it. It doesn't mean you gotta be, Dirk out here, because
he took 8-3 that night against the Celtics.
Man,
he's one of the best. Yes, and my thing is, it's okay to be able to, but when you're shooting that many and you have that great a skill, 15 feet in, you're taking away your greatest God-given skill, which could put big man in foul trouble and is making your team easier to defend, in my opinion, and hurting your rebounder if you want to camp out like you Dirk or Ryan Anderson.
We know.
Joel's problem is he's too good.
Yeah.
Don't let him make an early three, because if he make an early three, it's over. He Rob Morty the rest of the game.
Song for the night.
and y'all was talking about like LeBron and ownership. I hope he gets a team. And I think he'll be able, because the money he's made the money he made was better than what the money Jordan made, because, the times and things like that in the CBA. So I think he may be able to get his hands on a more profitable franchise if come to it, plus with his boys getting on and having these connections. But I want the people out there to understand something of how this system is. When we get in ownership, we always paying at a premium for obvious reasons that we know about.
Black tax.
Yeah.
Black tax.
For instance, Jerry Reinsdorf for the Bulls, man, I hope someone found a picture of a blackface or with a gay guy or something, saying N-word or something. Get him out of there. But he bought the Bulls for $3.5 million. And now he could probably sell for $4 or $5 billion, I'm sorry. And so that
in the 70s teams was going for a couple $100,000, cuz.
Yep.
Like buying a house.
And that's the thing. And that's what, like,
Trump.
Yeah, and look at Donald Sterling. He bought the Clippers for $12 million, I think, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that like now, I think LeBron will get a team. Hell, I think LeBron gonna own the Cleveland Cavaliers, because Dan Gilbert gonna want to get off of it. And I hope he does, because he has that physical black face, probably one of the most popular players ever, one of the best players ever, who has a lot of influence. And let's just hope that when he gets that ownership spot, hey, let's get some brothers in coaching and GMing, because Michael did. People say the one about Mike.
Yeah,
he hired a bunch of black coaches and GMs and put people in professional spots.
He just
hired the trash one. At least they got the chance to fail. That's what I'm saying.
No, but you know what? No. To your point, Tobias, and I'm about to give George props. Somebody record this. But to your point, he did do that. But that's the idea. That's like, it's funny we have these conversations because that whole book, the $40 million, like 2 decades ago, whenever it came out, it discusses all this. It discusses all this back then, and it talks about no matter how much I pay you as a player, until you get in positions of power and you start like actually employing people, it's a whole different ball game. And people tend to hire people that look like them, right? So, which is why you need representation. You need more people in management. You need more people as owners so the league can be diverse and you can actually, employ your own people. So Mike has
give them
a good job of
opportunity.
that. I mean, they've all failed them, but, Mike has given people opportunity.
Hell, hey, speaking of failure, you seen the coaches the Bulls are hired since Phil Jackson? So, hey, all those white boys failed. Hell, even Bill Cartwright failed.
He hired with like 2.1 grade point averages.
What about all the coaches they hired? What about all the coaches they hired before Phil Jackson? I keep telling you, the Bulls are a franchise.
Yeah.
They got lucky. They got lucky with Mike. If y'all had y'all run, enjoy it, love it. But for the most part,
Yeah. The only thing I hate is that the Bulls, they could probably sell their team for $4 or $5 billion right now, and they run it like they're the Pelicans.
Tobias, don't let big market flex on you like that, man. Don't let big market flex on you like that, man. Don't let big market flex on you.
Listen, though, Tobias, honestly, Tobias, it could be worse, though. Y'all could be the Knicks, because I think the Knicks are worse than anybody.
The
Knicks actually, but listen, because the Knicks talk like they had a run like the Bulls, and they never did.
They had a run of 40 years.
Every time the Knicks get a player, they be like, the Knicks are back. You banners. Back to what? Like,
no, the Knicks got Willis Reed. The Knicks got Willis Reed's knee. That's it. That's their title.
Hey, at least we also had the D Rose year too, where he got hurt. But the thing is, though. But the thing is, that's why I'm like all the time. It's like, yeah, as a black person owning something, it's nice. People can see. That's what I like about LeBron, where he got his boys, his friends he grew up with, he trusted them and put them in position. Because you're right. You're right, Jimmy, because let's just be honest here, guys. We can have all the degrees we want, the certifications we want, but who's doing the hiring most of the time? Not black people most of the time. And so
there's a new Newsweek story with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The headline says, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James is bigger than the GOAT debate. He's our hero for our time. From Reed.
You know what? But a lot of that has nothing to do with hoops, though. It's everything else we're saying. Like this, his homie Maverick Carter sits on the board of a Fortune 500 company. Dog, his homie sits on the board of a Fortune 500 company and has equity in it. Like, who put their people in? I'm telling you, we joke all the time and the thing like who played the best friend role the best? Is it Gayle King or Maverick Carter? Because they neck and neck in terms of who parlayed the best friend role the best. But
that's Maverick.
It's Maverick. Maverick got some bread now.
Listen,
Maverick got that job. Maverick do that for the next 30, 40 years. But, and I respect that about LeBron, is that he got his people on. And you know what? I think he learned.
Tobias, it's definitely Maverick because all Gayle King is Oprah's real boyfriend. Like,
she
Maverick is actually doing a lot more.
Yo, man, y'all gonna stop disrespecting my hero, Stedman, man. Stedman is my heroes, man. But
Stedman got his own bread too.
Yeah, but you gotta respect LeBron for that, though, man.
You got to, and I like that. And you know the other thing I gotta say this also. I know you guys gotta run. All that wealth he's accumulated, that outside of basketball, he put his friends on, and whenever he leaves this earth, that's gonna go to his wife, his black wife, and his black children, and that's just something that I think is great also.
Bias, are you giving LeBron props? Like, this is our guy. What's going on here?
Even the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then.
Somebody get caught on the line. What's going on?
Hey,
Huh?
hey, but
when AI dies, it's going to go to a black wife and black kid. Oh, this is a little different. My bad.
yeah, and those are things that I like to see, you know, what he's doing, I like that because he's more than an athlete in a way. No pun on the title. Where it's like Kaepernick, for example. I posted that in the group chat. Like I saw Whitlock is mad, and like every time it's on Kaepernick, and then like these white people that bring on be like, "Whoa, how do you know you want to play football?" But it's like LeBron doesn't have to beg. He waited till he got the bread right and all that stuff. You play the game. Kaepernick doesn't have to beg for an NFL job. He got his money. He did well with his money. And I think that's a lesson also that these other black male athletes should take. That get yourself a position where if they do try to blackball you or whatever or try to come at you, they can't touch you financially. And that really pisses them off.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. All three of quick. If you're a Catholic, would you want to play? Like, would you want to go out there and give yourself brain damage, or would you rather sit back and whether right or wrong, be considered a hero, sportsman of the year? People are comparing you to Muhammad Ali. And you don't have to worry about, like, killing yourself. Why would you want to play?
Jamina asks this question all the time, man. I'm so confused about this thing.
Yeah.
I still haven't heard Colin Kaepernick out of his mouth say, I'm still trying to get into the league. I'm still trying to play. We always hear these rumored reports every once in a while that a team called and he might go visit with the team or something like that. I have not heard this dude say once that he wants to get back in the league.
Are we sure Kaepernick still exists? Kaepernick might not even exist no more. I don't think somewhere else on this week. When last time we seen Kaepernick?
Kaepernick's hanging with Tupac.
Nestled and murked him already.
He's hanging with Tupac right now.
They're living in the compound.
All right.
Eric Reese said they live in the compound.
So it worked, man.
But I'll say this real quick. I got to run. But I asked the question real quick. I think him playing, like he's in that position now where playing may actually hurt his status. Let's say he got signed by the Arizona Cardinals. Let's say he got signed by the Arizona Cardinals. How is that a win-win situation? But if people want to know if he wants to play, all you got to do is pick up the phone and bring him in for a workout.
I'm just curious. To me, I'm like, at this point, as far as we've gone with this, like, how does he not look like a sellout putting on an NFL uniform at this point?
Cardi B did it. Cardi B said, I'm going to perform outside the Super Bowl.
We got to go, man.
Peace, fellas.
Next week.
All right.
All right. Yo,
why would you want to play?
Tobias might as well just get co-host status, man. He'll be on the phone for like 10 minutes. We got another call on the line, man. Let's get to John out in Santa Monica. John, welcome to the War Room.
John.
How you guys doing?
All right, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing good. I hear you talking about the Lakers. You're talking about Kaepernick. I'm just hopping on both. I think with Kaepernick,
because Tobias always calls in and just starts us on new topics that we weren't even talking on. But whatever you want to talk about, man. What's on your mind?
No, I could definitely talk about Kaepernick quick. I mean, I think at this point, man, the upside of him playing is not that high because look, he could go out there and yes, if he does really, really well, then great. People will be like, I can't believe that this guy wasn't in the league. But at this point, any educated person should understand that with Blake Bortles quarterbacking a team with all of these garbage backup quarterbacks that exist, it was never about whether Colin Kaepernick was a superstar in the league. He was fine. Like, he had a good run. But it was more he was clearly better than the vast majority of, maybe 20% of the starting quarterbacks and 100% of the backup quarterbacks. Like, he deserved a job in the league. The argument was never, is Colin Kaepernick this Aaron Rodgers as a talent? It's he is being blackballed out of the league because of his position. So it's like because of the stance he took on things. I don't really think there's a lot of upside to him playing because you'll get all these stupid people making takes when he comes back and inevitably goes 8-8 or 9-7 or loses in the first round of the playoffs or whatever. that, oh, he wasn't that good. This is why, like, you'll get stupid people using that as a talking point. And, like, what's the point?
Right.
Like, there really is, there's no point. I don't see the guy coming back and winning the Super Bowl because I don't think that was really the player he was other than that one year. So I don't know. I like think he's made his positive mark, and now it'll be much more difficult for any owner in any league to ever do this to a player again. And so from that sense, I think he was successful in his aim, and coming back really wouldn't. I just don't think there'd be that much positive that would.
No, I agree with that too. I think at this point he would be the catalyst for change, and we wouldn't see anything like this again. But yeah, I just don't even know if he wants to play.
My thing is, why would you want to come? Why would I want to come back and give myself CTE when I've already reached iconic status without doing anything on the field? Like, honestly, like the way
we're looking at it, and I understand your perspective completely. I do, and I get it. But if he's a competitor, assuming that he has a competitive spirit, then he wants to play his sport at some level. He wants to play his sport. I guess that would be why he would consider coming back, not for any other reason.
But you also have to be smart about it. And like you said, what's the upside? The upside, is you got to weigh everything. I just don't see this being that big of an upside. Like you said, I mean, that's the perfect to put it. There isn't a bigger. And also, a lot of people will look at you coming back as if you sold up what you stood for in the first place. Well, at this point, it's just better to continue doing what you're doing, and and when the history of the game is told, they're going to mention his name.
Yeah. So, anyways, and then on the other topic that you guys were talking about, I am a Lakers fan, diehard for a long time. This LeBron, this team is it's starting to remind me of like the last 3 years of Kobe, except this one really, even though I know people are trying to kind of blackball LeBron, making it difficult for the Lakers to get people, I just do not get this one as much as I got the Kobe one. Like, Kobe was, after that Achilles injury, was washed. And, like, before that Achilles injury was not someone who you'd go to a team to play with because defensively he was running on fumes. He was a top 10 player in the league, mostly by reputation at that point. LeBron is, without a doubt, still, like, even at the most extreme argument you could make, the third best player in the league, and in my opinion is still the best player in the entire league. I mean, like, this all, like, it's been this crazy downhill spiral since Paul George did not sign with the Lakers. I'm trying to think back to when the Lakers were healthy. A lot of people are forgetting that they were the 4 seed. They were they were
in fourth place.
The title. LeBron got hurt on Christmas, and then everyone started to get hurt. They kind of spiraled downward. They need to make the playoffs and not concede this season, because if they don't, like, in order for their team to be worth anything, these young guys need to have the chance to actually prove their value, so that LeBron can trade them all, obviously. But like, they need, like, which I'm fine with. To be straight up, I am fine with doing any of these deals, but like, these guys need to prove that, like, we need Ingram, we need Lonzo, we need Kuzma to actually stand up and show value, so that you can go out and trade these guys for
Kuzma is valuable. It's the rest of them stiff.
But you know what it is, though.
First of all, John and Jimmy have a lot in common, because he sounds like Jimmy. If you didn't know John, Jimmy is a Lakers fan also, and he's the same way. He's like, hey, make the deal, get rid of him. So what?
Get rid of him. But here's what I know. Like, and it looks like, these guys are young, not only like literally young, but this just mentally. Like, they can't deal with all this. Like, the pressure that LeBron brings, because as much as people say it's not about winning a championship right now. Like, when LeBron James goes on the court, it's about winning a championship, whether you want to say it or not. And these guys just they don't seem to be able to deal with the pressure. We all had questions when they put this lineup together to begin with because it didn't even. It was a weird lineup.
The young guys usually can't deal with that pressure though. That's why they all get out when LeBron comes to town. His team turns into a veteran team. Maybe a few veterans that you question, like, well, nobody wants them, but they're good enough to help LeBron out. Young guys generally can't deal with that pressure.
The Lakers as an organization right now, like, think about if they didn't luck into LeBron, who was coming to them no matter what for reasons that didn't have to do with basketball. I do think it wasn't completely – I don't think he completely wrote off the basketball part, as I do think he made a big assumption. Like, this Anthony Davis plan didn't come together yesterday, right? Like, this was – they obviously thought they were going to pull something off, right? Like, this is kind of probably what he thought that he was going to do. It's just the Lakers have done a really bad job of developing these players. Like, it's not a shock that D'Angelo Russell leaves their team and starts looking like this. Like, if you just watch Ingram play, I know people are saying, oh, he's not meshing with a LeBron, blah, blah, blah. It's not LeBron's fault that Ingram plays like it's 1997 and he's taking, 20-foot, 2-foot, like two-point jumpers. It's not LeBron's fault that Ingram should be shooting 5 threes a game, whether he's making them or not, and he's shooting 1.5 threes a game. Like, that's not LeBron's fault. Like, the Lakers.
Ingram takes some of the weirdest and worst shots I've seen. Like, he's the kind of guy that shoots 7 shots a game with his foot on the 3-point line. Like, that has to be the most inefficient shot there is. Like, why are you that far out? Like, you might as well take a step back and go for the 3 at this point. Like, and I agree with you. Ingram has been getting away for his entire career. And I would even say his college career, just on potential. That's the only word I've always heard associated with him is his potential. But that's like, at what point is it not potential anymore? Like, you be 5 years old, we're going to talk about his potential.
At the same time, though, I got to be honest, and I'm not a Lakers homer by any means. I think Kuzma is actually a useful NBA player, but he is what he is. I don't think he's going to get that much better. I think he's a great offensive weapon. Defensively, you're seeing he's a liability right now. Lonzo, I'm actually a little higher on Lonzo, other than the fact that I think it's like Lonzo. I almost feel bad for because he's pretty good on defense.
Everything. He plays defense. Yeah, he's a great defense
I was about to
player.
say, I agree, B, and you hear me say the same thing all the time. Like, everybody's excited about Kuzma because scoring is exciting. I still think Lonzo has the biggest upside of anybody.
What kills me about Lonzo, though, is that like LeVar Ball, I try and separate myself out from because like what he says is funny as long as you don't take it seriously and no one else takes it seriously. But like when you actually watch Lonzo game after game, he doesn't have great dribbling ability and he can't really finish, and he doesn't have a mid-range game. Those are where he needs to work on things. But the thing that stands out almost most about Lonzo is he's mentally weak. Like he like shooting 45% at the line is not because he doesn't have talent or that he can't shoot 85%. It's because he gets nervous at the line. And so like when LeVar goes out and claims he's better than LeBron, it's like you should know your son and know you're placing a pressure on a kid who is displaying signs of like not being able to handle this, not being mentally tough enough to handle this, and you're making it tougher on him. So like that's another thing. But Ingram, the thing that worries me is that his value right now, I would argue, in his entire career has never been lower. And if the right team gets a hold of him, is still young enough, they can just say, hey, man, you know what? Every time you take a 2-point jumper, like from 15-plus feet or whatever, we're pulling you. Like, you take threes and you take jumpers from within 15 feet. And, like, Ingram can be elite defensively. I just worry we're going to throw Ingram into a package like he's Kuzma, and he's going to actually become good on a team that develops him properly, which I guess is what it is. If we get the right return for him, it's fine. But I don't think we're going to get the right return for him at this point. Like, and we'll see. I mean, I came into this Lakers season really excited, and I'm just kind of honestly, I'm a little depressed now because we're not. I don't think we're going to get any of the major free agents. Like, I honestly think where this is heading is Boogie Cousins. which is pretty depressing.
That's probably true.
I think this is ending with Boogie.
Ingram
which after an Achilles injury,
I've been waiting
it
for
doesn't
so long.
have the same cachet as
well,
Anthony Davis.
It's better than nothing, but Lakers fans were sitting here we're gonna have Paul George and Kawhi, and they're gonna trade Jesus to our team. And now we're gonna end up
But this actually started. This actually started years ago. I always joke about the fact that I remember that one season when LeBron and Wade and Bosh went to Miami. We were supposed to get all of them back then, and we ended up with Jeremy Lin.
Man, since it's not necessarily since the Chris Paul trade, because after the Chris Paul trade, we did still pull off Nash and Dwight Howard, which was still very exciting in the season it happened. But that was a disaster. Since then, I mean, I'm 32 years old. I had it real easy as a Lakers fan. This has been a real dark 6-7 years.
Trying times for you guys. Trying times.
I'm trying to remind myself that, look, Clutch represents a decent amount of players. I don't think it's hopeless yet, but if the Lakers don't pull off a free agent signing of either, really, I mean, I hate to say it, Kawhi, Durant, or Kyrie, I don't really know what they do, because I think Boston's going to get Davis. If the Pelicans want Tatum, at least for a year, but the problem with if James was 28, I think we'd have all the leverage in the world to get Davis. But because LeBron is 36, it will be 36 by the time Davis is a free agent. In order to have the cap space to sign Davis, you need to do this 1-year deal crap again. Once again, you can sign Boogie to a giant 1-year deal that I think might be possible and try and roll it over again. But you can't just toss away LeBron. Probably the only 2 elite years LeBron is going to have left, and then be all right, Anthony Davis and 36-year-old LeBron are going to win this. I mean, my main hope of all of this is honestly that, and I don't believe the Knicks can actually pull this off, because there's no reason for me to think that they can, given that they never have done anything successful ever. But I hope that they do actually get Durant, and I do hope that they get Kyrie Irving, because Durant just needs to the good thing about Durant leaving is that I think the Warriors can only re-sign Boogie for up to 125% of what they pay him. There's no way Boogie's signing for a $7 million deal, so he's out. If Kevin Durant goes to the Knicks, then at the very least the NBA becomes more interesting than just trades, right? Because right now, as interesting as it is to have these superstars jumping around, we know who's winning the title. Whereas if Durant goes to the Knicks and Boogie leaves the Warriors, at the very least, I could talk myself into Lonzo, Ingram getting better, them having Boogie, LeBron, and maybe them pulling it out against the Warriors in a series. I could talk myself into the Celtics winning a title, or the 76ers winning a title, or the Rockets winning a title. It just makes the league actually interesting, and these moves mean something. So if anything,
that's exactly what we need. We just need Kevin Durant to leave and loosen up the power over there, and it'll definitely get interesting. But John, we gotta go, but we really enjoyed your call, man. We're here every week, same time. Make sure you call in and talk to us sometimes.
Thank you very much.
All right, no problem. I made some really good points. Like I said, a lot of them points, he sound like Jimmy. Look, Jimmy argues with fellow Laker fans all day, every day about them not wanting to break up their youth and their young core and all that. Jimmy's like, man, get some dudes out here. Let's make it happen. But speaking of the Lakers, though, our stat of the week, it revolves around the Lakers as well. With their record currently at 28-29, one game under 500, this is the first time that a LeBron James-led team had a losing record at least 40 games into a season since 2003-2004. which was his rookie season when the Cavs finished 35-47. So it's basically been a long time since LeBron James has been in this position. I'm not 100% sure that they're going to make enough of a run to make the playoffs, but I'm not counting them out by any stretch, man. They get a little bit healthy. They could be grasping for one of those final seeds, but this is like uncharted territory for LeBron James.
We actually got a question. We got a question on our IG at Porgy the King asked the question, and we wanted to get our opinion that if LeBron James started his career in the West, would he still be in the GOAT conversation, considering he wouldn't have all those trips to the finals?
Probably, I don't know, man. Probably not.
We could ponder that. We could ponder that on a different show. We could talk about that on another show.
Yeah.
But I just
we'll make it a topic. The next week will be a little slow anyway because the NBA, most of those teams aren't even going to come back till next Thursday and Friday from the break. So it's definitely something that we could talk about. That's a very good question, though, man. Because a lot of superstar careers are what they are because of the path and the road that it took to do the things that that the person ended up doing. That's a good question, man. We definitely got to get back to you on that.
Yeah.
So real quick though, before we get into these quick topics of what happened while y'all were on the grind, y'all know the drill. Y'all can check out our website at warroomsports.com. If you want to call in and speak with us about any NBA topics, anything to do with All-Star Weekend or anything like that, hit us 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. But if you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. All right, Ben, what happened this week?
Yeah, sir, it's time to talk about what happened while you were on the grind, and this is brought to you by Sports the Book. I'll be very brief. Sports the Book is the greatest sports book ever written, and you can find it at sportsthebook.com and warroomsports.com. But we want to talk about things that happened this past week while you were on the grind. We talked a little bit about the brother.
I think I hit that twice.
I'm about to say, like somebody type on like 400 words.
The whole book.
A Colorado store wanted to protest on Kaepernick, so they decided they weren't supporting Nike at all because of Nike's affiliation with Kaepernick. So they pulled the Nike paraphernalia off their shelves, and store went out of business. So is this about Kaepernick at all, or just about Nike's dominance in the sports apparel market?
This is about dumb white supremacy. Yeah.
All right. I don't know if y'all remember. I remember this story. I remember this guy being so upset.
Yeah, I do too.
He said he was going to sell off the rest of his Nike inventory and he was going to order no more and he was going to do business without it. Because, the Colin Kaepernick ad that he was mad about basically says, believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. So this dude believed in his ignorant ass beliefs, sacrificed everything, and now he no longer has a business. And he's still not, he's not budging at all. He talks like he has no regrets. He said he knew the boycott would hurt, the Nike boycott. He said being a sports store without Nike is like being a gas station without gas. So he already knew how stupid he was. But he took Colin Kaepernick's advice. Believe in something, even if it's sacrificing everything. He said this was never about property to me. This was about principle. He said the boycott was about principle over profit, and even though he lost the revenue, even though the lost revenue played a role in his decision to close the store, he's still absolutely glad he did it. He said, you don't trample over the men who have given Colin Kaepernick and me the right to free speech. So he's still one of those people who, no matter what's been said, no matter how many times it's been explained to him, he's still going to use that BS. You're disrespecting the military. So he's saying Colin Kaepernick trampled over the people that give them the right to free speech. And respect to everybody who's in the military and do what they do, whether it's for country, whether it's for paycheck, whether it's for a way out, whatever your reasons may be. Respect to you. But can we go ahead with this cliche? Like, nobody in uniform gives me a right to do what I do. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, respect to the servicemen that told Kaepernick to take a knee. Respect to him. Right. He was given the suggestion of how to actually silent protest by somebody in the service. Millions of service people have come out saying we're not going to do it. Like, it has nothing to do with us. Some people, because of their ignorant beliefs, they don't care what anybody says. they need a reason to be upset. They feel that there's a legitimate reason to be upset. And now you're breaking up, bro.
You're breaking up, Aki. But I can't imagine trying to run a sports apparel store without selling Nike though. Like he made the great analogy, like having a gas station without gas. Like Boyle gave a killer analogy, talking about killing himself. He
swallowed them bullets. Now your ass ain't got no business no more.
Boy made the fire analogy. So basically, when you take a step back, what he's saying is, he said, I tried to run the gas station without selling gas.
Yeah, you already knew. So you don't want no more bugs.
Yeah. Now we got to talk about B. Austin's favorite boxer of all time, as he calls Floyd, Funny Money Mayweather.
Controversy.
No, Gabe.
I'm sure you heard they have the black tape sweater, and a lot of prominent artists rocking that. Man, listen, I don't got nothing against nobody, really. My thing is this: support everybody. Everybody. And my thing is this: I like to live life and do what I like to do. Not no follower. I do what the fuck I want to do. Right. Because everybody say wear this or don't wear this. I'm wearing what the fuck I want to wear. I'm about to go in the Gucci.
Were you disrespected at all by the whole black thing?
I'm about to go in the Gucci.
I saw you dropped that light 40 on at that tournament the other day. That game.
Oh yeah, but you see, we've been in there shopping today.
Oh man. Hey, you're not worried about the backlash at all. Look at all the Gucci bags.
Oh, I'm living life, man. I'm living life.
People like T.I., Soulja Boy, they're done with Gucci.
All I gotta say is this: I don't follow. Right. I do what I want to do when I want to and how I want to. I love him like everybody.
Right.
So that's your man.
Yeah, he later went on to say, boycott. I'm going to be a boy on a yacht. First of all, I mean, we know, we've known, for at least the most part of the last decade at least, Floyd Mayweather has been about nothing in life but the dollar. You know what I'm saying? And, if that's how you run your life, that's cool. That's how I thought when I was like 18 years old. I kind of grew out of that. I mean, he doesn't stand for anything. I don't think anybody expects him to stand for anything.
Yeah.
But this is just him out there being loud and ignorant as what we're used to hearing. And there's always going to be people out there still making excuses for him because I saw it. I thought this would have been the one because anybody else who does this, everybody's dragging them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But there's a certain few out there who got that fan base that's always going to make excuses. And I was reading people making excuses for Floyd.
Listen, man, so for me, it's just like I don't have an expectation from him, so it didn't bother me at all because there's always going to be those. Like, there's always going to be those people, right? Him talking like that is just further proof why Ali has always been the greatest and always will be the greatest. Because at the end of the day, man, like what you do with that position you've been given, you have God-given talent. You work, no one's ever going to take that away from it. But what did you do with that position of power, man? Shout out to Uncle Ben, man. He told y'all, man, with great power comes what? Great responsibility. And
great responsibility.
He just want to go in the Gucci, man. So, go in the Gucci. I'm not mad if you do you.
You ain't following Uncle Ben. You following Uncle Tom.
Y'all didn't come to me on this subject because y'all know that I have nothing productive to say and positive about this human being. Yo,
No, we just saved you for last.
Yo, whenever your ancestors, either one of you, whenever your ancestors were escaping off of the plantation, assuming that they wanted to get on that Underground Railroad, it was one of Floyd's ancestors that told. He snitched.
Yo, and the crazy part is, like, again, like, it's just using history. If you go back and you hear some of the things, and I just read a book, I brought up last show, the Blood Brothers book, but you go back and you listen to some of the things that Sonny Liston or Floyd Patterson said about Muhammad Ali. I mean, some of the same rhetoric. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
I know for a fact that Sonny Liston was a coon. He was on the coon train.
I mean, but my whole point is this, though, man. Listen, I don't get mad at cats no more because, I mean, history is going to tell your story, dog. Like, I think people got highly upset at this. Yeah, I saw people got highly upset at it.
Sonny Liston fought with a conch. He had a conch. So we know what he was.
Yo, you talk about Floyd. No, Floyd Patterson had the man. Sonny Liston was the big bear-looking boy. But anyway,
both of them was coons.
Yeah, but I know you're talking about though. Floyd had the conch. He had a conch with like a Jeff in the front. Like he had his joint style. But that's either here nor there, man. The bottom is I don't get mad at Floyd and all that. I just support those that support what I support. But for those who don't, I don't get mad at them no more, man. Look, man, God is still working. Coon train is coming. Coon train is coming.
What about Black on Black? Greatest song ever. Yeah, I know Floyd has said that before too, right?
What about Black? Yes, he has. And
yeah,
he was
Floyd has said that before when we talked about the police. He said, but all this black on black crime. I'm like, damn, Floyd.
Yo, he's actually said that.
He's just the epitome.
He also was anti-Kaepernick, and he said all lives matter, not just black lives.
Yo, have you ever run in? I know y'all run into the people that are in the hood with you that hate themselves so much that they believe that all of y'all deserve all of this police violence. That's him. That's Floyd.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, man. So
himself.
So speaking of,
that's why all his booze, all his booze and his babes look like white women. Never mind, man. Go ahead.
But my whole thing about Floyd and this whole Gucci thing. Okay, man. If those are your, if you don't care, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not, nobody's forcing everybody to care. You know what I'm saying? But why be loud ignorant? Just say, you know what I'm saying? I don't know much about that because you already started off saying that, like, oh, we supposed to be doing that? Well, I ain't no follower. He just got real militant with, when dude told him what the situation was. Just say, I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah. It's like you make it worse.
I haven't checked today, but their company's price was up when all went on, by the way. And probably because Gucci, this whole design, I don't even know if it came out, but they got more publicity over the last couple of weeks, and I think they've been talked about.
I don't care about the
headband.
Jimmy, it probably wasn't even a real sweater. It was a marketing
I know, it probably
ploy.
didn't exist. Meanwhile, all them Italians went out and copped up. Meanwhile, so my whole thing, man, I can't be mad. Listen, man, everybody can't have the same ethics that I have, and I get that. So my whole thing is, I just support those that support what I like, and people like him, I just put them over there, put them on the train. Anyway, man,
I'm supposed to be mad at that.
Duke University. You remember the legend at Duke University, Corey Maggette? Well, he's been accused of raping somebody in 1999. They say he took yams. So, his dirt is coming back out there just like everybody else.
The interesting part about this is the woman who's accusing him now, 20 years later, of rape, is the second accuser of Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. We heard the rumblings of this about a week ago before the player was ever named. They were saying when, Justin, she was raped by a Duke basketball player in 1999. They brought that up to tell us that she and Justin Fairfax were friends, and he was one of the only people that she allegedly confided in about this sexual assault, and she said he used it against her to take advantage of her himself, saying, and she says he actually said this to her when she asked why would he do that to her. He said, because of the other situation, I knew that you wouldn't tell. It's starting to sound a little crazy.
Now,
because who got that kind of heart?
If that's true, he's the worst kind of person. He's the worst kind of human being, if that's true.
Right. So, but, slippery slopes here, so we don't know. Because that whole situation with the Virginia governorship, that snowballed quick. Like, everybody forgot that the white dude was in blackface and with the Klan real quick.
Yeah.
Because all the dirt. They just started throwing the dirt on the other dude.
Shout out,
and you know what, Jeff? It was one of
Cannon.
those things that we always talk about when people are at their highest moment. Like this dude, Justin Fairfax, was about to be elevated to the governorship. And then all of a sudden, they started kicking dirt on his name. So when they originally said a basketball player, 1999, I went to the roster. I was a little nervous for my 76ers because I'm like the only person.
Was Elton.
Yeah, the only person that's on fire right now from that team is Elton Brand. So I'm like, somebody about to tear him, somebody about to get him, roof him right on his, his biggest moments at his new gig. And it ended up being Corey Maggette. And shout out to William Avery because I was judging you, and I was sure it was you. Because y'all remember William Avery, he kind of like abruptly declared for the draft back then and left school, and people were like, yo, you're not even that good yet. And so I just put two and two together and judged him and assumed that it was him.
Yeah, he thought he had to get up out of it.
Yo, so you think that Corey Maggette really did this, or they trying to make him a political prisoner like Bill Cosby?
Nah, Jello Pudding Pop. Jello Pudding Pop. He did it.
Be Austin. I'm not serious, Be Austin. I don't know.
I'm about to say he about to start preaching on you.
They interviewed Bill Cosby, and Bill Cosby said that he's a political prisoner. He's like Gandhi and Martin Luther King.
Yo, well, the only reason I was about to go in, and Dev knows why, is because I'm locked in battle.
Purple M3s with jet skis.
with a zombie that said that Bill Cosby never did anything wrong with his life.
I see y'all back and forth. on Facebook. I just don't say nothing.
Yeah,
I see it.
I do too.
I mean,
I see it.
I see you be bringing up a lot of sharp points. Don't even ask how. But listen, all I'm gonna say is this. All I'm gonna say is this though. Something's wrong with your man, Bill. First, he's walking around calling himself Heathcliff. Now he's comparing himself to political.
And he was actually working on patients. First of all, Heathcliff Huxtable. Heathcliff Huxtable was a gynecologist. So what are you working on? Like, what are you doing?
Hold up, Bill. The sad part is, like, let's just say that he does railroad it. The fact that we laughing the way we are and we're genuinely laughing means they won already, yo.
True.
They won.
But y'all know I got somebody in the same facility. I'm about to ask some questions on my next letter. I'm going to get the lowdown. I'm going to get the scoop. Because we going on all these reports. I'm going to get the scoop of what's really happening in there.
Yo, what's that with the political prisoner, man? That political prisoner in there, man.
Political prisoner set free, stress-free. No work release, purple and threes and jet
Bill
skis.
Cosby said he one of the Soledad brothers, man. Hey, listen, we got to move on.
Yo, not yours.
All right, I'm going to give some quick birthday shout-outs, and birthday shout-outs are not brought to you by any specific sponsor. So if you got a small business and you want to, sponsor the birthday segment on our show every week, holler at us. info@warroomsports.com. Call us. Anyway, quick birthday shout-outs, man. Shout-out to another Pennsylvania legend, Richard Hamilton. Rip turns 41 years old. Tyus Edney of UCLA Bruins fame is 46 years old. Drew Bledsoe used to be one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league back in his prime. Drew Bledsoe is 47 years old. Man, if Drew didn't get hurt, like, would we really know who Tom Brady is at this point? Remember we talked about LeBron, the path that people go to, like their careers. It depends on just the things that happen, man.
Listen, man, it was written, man. God's plan.
It was definitely written. George Murasan turns 48 years old. Slew-footed fucker.
Been 20 years ago.
His body been that old. Jim Kelly, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, the greatest runner-up of all time. He turns 59. And we definitely want to give a nice rest in peace birthday shout-out to Steve Air McNair, who was born February 14th, 1973, and he tragically died July 4th, 2009. So we want to give all of these folks a nice shout-out on their birthday. Peace.
Rest in power to the God Air McNair, man. Who knows, man? And he also like, you know, he sacrificed his life, so y'all dudes know to be careful around them young Johns.
Yeah, he got caught putting
pieces, man.
He's in a plastic bag.
You got to exercise a little more control over your side, Jones. Anyway, R.I.P. to the homie Steve Air, man. Usual, y'all can check out the website, warroomsports.com. If you want to call in, we're about to talk a little bit of NBA All-Star Weekend for the remaining 20 minutes of the show. Y'all know the number, 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. But if you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to holler at us. It's hoops time.
It's definitely time to talk about this thing of ours, and that is brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business website? Well, here's what you do. You go to digitalextremetech.com or you call 267-205-4203, and you will get hooked up if you say, yo, War Room Sports sent me. You know, they'll give you the hookup. So make sure you call 267-205-4203 or go to digitalextremetech.com. But it's time to talk about this thing of ours. First thing we got to do is give our players of the week. Bojan Bogdanovic has been out here putting in kinds of work. I guess since they're missing their best player, he had to step his game up, and he has done so. In the Western Conference, we got the man with 2 first names, Paul George, who is continuing his streak, and he's just on fire right now. He's playing at another level to the point where people are saying that his skill set and what he's doing, OKC is better than anything Durant ever did for OKC, which is a bit much.
Better than me.
Slow down.
People don't even wait for things to happen now. It's like, yo, I got to be the first to take this hot take.
No.
And people are taking hot takes too far. They take lava takes now. They just be like, I'm gonna really say something.
Yo, lava, volcano, they just create their own island out of nothing.
Dog, I think the hot take I saw the other day was Jason Shitlock said basically that the reason LeBron James fails is because he's an only child. I was like, yo, way too far.
Wait, your man, another one of LeBron's boys, what's his name? The black dude, light skinned boy that talk loud. Not Stephen A, but the other boy.
What's his name? The boy that played with him?
No, not Windhorst. Or I don't know if he played with him. Windhorst went to high school with him. I forgot. The dude, he said after the Sixers Celtics game, he said there's no way this year, no way, no how that the Sixers have a chance of beating the Celtics in a 7-game series.
Oh, you talking about You talking about the boy that boy from Fox now? What's his name? The little dude that used to be ESPN, little light skin boy, Chris Broussard.
Broussard. Yeah. Something like that. I mean, the thing is, you know, Boston, like we said, they own space in the Sixers' head, but you come up with that because he was one of the guys when they made the trade. Oh, the Sixers are the favorites, blah blah blah. So after one game with the Celtics, when the team has been together for 3 days, it's like you're making that bold of an assumption. Like even if you're to say, like, I can say as a Sixers fan, I could say something like, man, if we play the Celtics in the playoffs, I might have to favor the Celtics in that series. But after one game, which was only decided by like 3 points on some bad non-calls at the end of the game, for you to say no way, no how can they beat the Celtics? Like, hot takes, man.
See, this is the problem with this is the problem with sports media. Like, and some would probably include us in that because there's so much sports media. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I went to iTunes and there's probably about 600,000 sports podcasts at this point. So it's like people are talking about the same thing. What they try to do is they have an amazing hot take.
So it's like 14 when we started.
Yeah, pretty much. Now it's like 14 million. But listen, now they go above and beyond this to create like craziness. Like, I'm telling you, that joke about LeBron being the only child, like, I died laughing so hard. Like, yo, what are they talking about? They're just trying to say that no one is talking about this. We're comparing LeBron's only childhood to the.
But you know what Whitelock like to do, so he gonna think of something.
Yeah.
All right, so Bojan Bogdanovic helped lead the Pacers to a 4-0 week. Man, as a Sixers fan, that really sucks. You thought they were just going to totally fall off the cliff after your man got hurt. He averaged 22.5 points on 53.8% shooting. He shot 46.4% from the three-point line, and that was his week. The crazy part about it is sometimes in the East, it seems like they don't want to just give that award, and I think it's mostly because of the win-losses. They had an undefeated team, so you had to find somebody. Because obviously, other than the 22.5 points, he didn't do anything but shoot well because they would have had it up here.
Yeah.
But in the West, PG-13 averaged 37 points, 8 rebounds, 2.67 steals, and the Oklahoma City Thunder went 3-0 for that week. So we'll see how this goes.
The NBA right now is like it's like a video game. There's several streaks going on. So James Harden, his 30-point game streak is at 31 at this point. Russell Westbrook has a triple-double streak at 10. And, because
which broke a record. They both broke records for what they're doing.
Yeah. The Knicks have a going on too, the Austin, and that's they lost 18 straight. So
bums.
So my question is, which streak is most impressive or unimpressive? Like, and which will be the hardest to maintain? Is it scoring 30 this many times in a row? To me, the triple double is still it though.
Triple double. I gotta go with the triple double.
Can I make a point though? Because I think they're doing it again. Because I find it hard to believe that Wilt Chamberlain didn't score 30 points 31 times in a row. But shout out to Hank, because Hank he talked about that in the chat room earlier in the group chat, how it's like they come up with these stats and they just exclude Wilt because any stat conversation you're going to come up with, he's going to be on it. He's going to be at the top of it. So at this point, they're just giving dudes records with excluding Wilt in the process. So they said he 31 straight 30-point games. I mean, dude averaged 50 in the season. I find it hard to believe that
average 50. How 30 straight times?
Yeah. Either way, let me answer Jimmy's question.
Because he probably scored 20 the night after he scored 100, and he still ended up averaging.
But let me ask you a question. The crazy part about this, and the reason why that question is even necessary, is because these dudes make it look so easy that people are starting to devalue what they're doing. It's hard as hell to score 30 points 31 straight times, 30-plus points. And it's definitely hard as hell to get 10 straight triple-doubles. That's crazy. Like, we've heard people basically – there's been a lot of people that just devalues totally the triple-double now because Russell Westbrook has averaged it for 2 seasons in a row. When most people were asked, fans, players, former players, executives, when you used to ask what stat or what feat would never be accomplished again, I heard averaging a triple-double like Oscar Robertson more than anything out
Ever.
Even the 100-point game by Wilt, that was always like second to what I used to hear when people would answer that question. Now that Russell Westbrook has done it 2 times in a row, people act like it's easy, but I'm like, okay, if it's easy and we're going to devalue it now, why is he still the only person who's done it since Oscar did it like 165 years ago? This is what I don't understand. Like, I think for us to devalue it, at least 3 or 4 people would have had to do it. But it's not like that. Like, one dude is doing it, and he might do it for 3 straight years, and so I'm with Jimmy. I still think it's the triple doubles, man. 10 straight games with triple doubles.
Harden starts the game off with 12 points anyway. So let's just be honest. Like, in my highest voice, let's be honest here. He starts the game off with 12.
At this point is going to shoot until he gets 30. It's easier to pad your scoring stats than to pad your triple double stats. You got to do everything.
The triple double is definitely the more difficult one. But Russ is also one of the most hated guys in the league, which is interesting because everybody, from an athletic standpoint, I've heard football players, basketball players, ex-players, everybody say how much they admire him for his intensity. Everybody brings up the same thing. Yo, this dude plays hard every play. But a lot of basketball fans can't stand the guy, and a lot of that to me really isn't about him. It's about their love for PG County's
about
own.
KD.
Yeah, it's really about PG County's own. Because these 2 dudes are going to be tied at the hip, and there'll be several documentaries and 30s about them in the future. But shout out to Harden too, and shout out to the Knicks for losing 18 straight because you are.
Yeah, that's hard to do too. That's really hard to do. But I would think in this instance that's the easiest thing to do. When you garbage, you garbage. It's hard to get a win, but still.
But the Knicks
18 straight.
That's
hard to do in a professional league.
With all the moves they made, they don't get any free agent. It wouldn't even shock me. It would be funny, but it wouldn't even shock me because they're just terribly ran from top to bottom. They're terribly ran from top to bottom. I saw a story today that talked about like Giannis. Giannis was playing in Greece, and how he was such a hot prospect that 29 of the 30 NBA teams came to talk to him. Only one team wasn't aware and didn't come talk to him. And guess what team that was? The New York Knicks. How does the entire world of basketball know about him, but you – like, what are you doing over there? Anyway.
New York shit kebabs.
Moving on, man.
Well, how do you not even go scouting?
LeBron.
Come on, man. Jackass.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, 29 other teams there. You wouldn't think that, why is everybody going over there to see this ball? What are they going to go see? Let me go see. Come on, man.
Well, they like Floyd. They're like, we ain't followers. I do what I want, when I want, how I want.
Following.
Yo, Dolan about to be on a yacht.
Dolan got to get out of here for his own good, man. They got to get him out of there. Sheesh.
No, I'm cool with him.
He be spending his time playing music.
As a rival fan, anyway. I'm cool with Dolan. Free Dolan.
You like free Dolan?
Keep him there.
We talked about how LeBron has a lot going on this season, man. Shout out to Spring Entertainment, man. LeBron, y'all public. Yeah, I mean we gonna do some business, but LeBron. People are saying now that it might be the first time LeBron will miss first team All NBA. He's been first team All NBA since 2007, 2008. So what's that, about over a decade at this point?
About 11, 12 years.
So my question is, as of right now, who's your first team All NBA? If Bron's not knowing it, who's your first team All NBA?
I mean, LeBron still holds power to get on there, even when he may not deserve it. But this is actually one of the first seasons out of that 10, 11 years that I think he actually doesn't deserve it. At this point, the forward you got to be looking at Paul George and Giannis at this point for first team, right? Then there's even a question if LeBron makes second team, because you could be looking at Kevin Durant and Kawhi. You could.
Yeah.
Right.
Man, Bron said there's nothing left for him to accomplish, man. He said eventually we all going to die anyway.
They'll find a way, though. They'll put Bron at guard just because they know he bring the ball up a lot. They'll find a way to get him on there.
Yeah. Oh, that was a double entendre. Like he brings. Never mind. Anyway, but it's interesting though, because like, you know, the crazy part is before the injury, Bron was having one of his better seasons. I think Bron is also suffering from what we talked about with Russ. Bron is so good that it's like it's just normal. Dude scored 30 and 40, and it's like, so what?
See, but that's the thing. That's what, and that's even what I'm, you know, kind of a point that I'm alluding to. It's like, even if you don't think he's worthy of first team or, for that matter, second team this year, it's not because he's not playing well. He's still playing great. There's just some dudes at his position that's having spectacular seasons right now. So, you know, there's going to be an argument for at least, you know, I mean, if Giannis and Paul George, you know, God willing, stay healthy, I don't think there's any argument there. But it's going to get interesting when you get to the second team.
Giannis is my MVP personally right now. And Paul George found a limitless pill because he's playing out of his mind. Like, we all knew Paul George could play basketball. I don't even think it's debatable that this is the best Paul George we've ever seen.
No,
but Paul George. But this was the Paul George. This was the Paul George that he was heading towards before he totally destroyed his leg. Remember, before that summer when he destroyed his leg, like he and Bron went at it in the playoffs. Like he held his own, but you know, like most Eastern Conference teams, they fell short.
I still didn't see this level though. He's doing it this year because I'm like, yo, who is this guy? Like he's somebody different. Like I
know he was always my dude. I was like, if he just let that dog grow in him, Paul's that. Like he's one of those dudes that has more skills than even most of the superstars in the league. You just need, you know, the intangible stuff to show up. And now it is.
Yeah. But for me, I think a lot of it is pressure. Like he signed his contract. He's boo. They get to hang out at Chili's, the only Chili's in the OKC. So he don't have that pressure. He don't have that pressure of like, where's Paul George going to sign? Is he going to sign back in LA? What's he going to do?
And he in love with the stripper. What'd you say,
yeah,
B?
He loves.
His game is so smooth. He doesn't even look 6'8", 6'9". Like he looks like a guard. The way he plays, he's definitely living up to the hype that you attach to him. Like he's everything advertised because Dev was his agent.
He trying to slide that in there saying I was sicing it. Shout out to DC.
Nah,
like
I didn't think it was Sice game.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yo, and the crazy part
remember, man, he gave Brown like 36. They were getting it in.
As amazing as he's playing, Giannis still from here, dog. Giannis is from Krypton because
still don't know.
Jimmy, if I see Giannis one more time come down the lane, spin with somebody on his body and just jump up and just dunk it over the dude's head like it's nothing. Like, come on, Giannis.
Yo,
stop.
Giannis get past like half court. He takes one step and then he's in the air dunking.
Yo, my man Euro stepping from the other free throw line.
Yo, Giannis be out there playing NBA. Yo, he be out there playing NBA Jam. Like he really be. It's amazing the kind of ground that he covers. You know, with one step. Because it's like he takes one step and I'm like, all right, he about to, you know what I mean, pull up or he about to, you know, try to lean in and get a floater.
Like
and
a mid-range,
I know he's like dunking on somebody. Come on, cuz.
Yeah,
what are you doing, man?
He's crazy. He's a Euro step from half court,
level.
man. Wrong
He'd be a hell of a wide receiver.
Giannis on some Tom Chambers. He like Tom Chambers 3.0.
Yo, yeah, Giannis is on another level, man. So to that point, though, it's going to be difficult for Bron to get into first team, but it wouldn't shock me. They're probably going to jerk Paul George, because the one thing I do say is I see the NBA giving like Giannis a lot more attention in terms of like their marketing of him.
Yeah, because it actually you kind of got to hear people bring it up this week. Like, has Paul George played himself into the MVP conversation? Like, you don't hear that.
Yeah.
It's like either him or Harden are the front runners right now.
And I still think it's like not negative, but I still think it's like big city bias. And I'm one that I'm all about the big city bias, but I still think it's like that for Paul George, because if Paul George was putting up these kind of numbers and he played, say, for the Knicks, oh my God. Oh God.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, big city bias. Real quick, because we got a couple minutes, but a lot of people are aware that Ben Simmons asked his team in the league could he consult with Magic Johnson. They didn't want it to could seem like tampering, because he wanted quote unquote, he wanted to learn, what is it? Big guard secrets. I want to learn the hashtag big guard secrets. So some people were saying Magic Johnson.
This is Magic. First, you got to go into the Forum Club, and then
Magic wasn't going to give him the cure, so it really don't matter.
That Magic. Some people were saying that Magic was tampering, but there was no charges for Magic in the tampering situation.
Yeah,
I know
the league
Ben
investigated. But you know what, Jim? The reason why it even came up, the whole tampering word, because Magic. And I don't know if Magic does this stuff on purpose. I just think Magic is not used to being a league executive. You're used to being Magic Johnson, where everybody gravitates towards you. You know what I'm saying? Of course, everybody's going to come to you for advice because you're one of the greatest players who's ever lived. He's still trying to be charismatic Magic while forgetting that you're the president of basketball ops for a specific team. Some things you can't do. You know what I'm saying? And Elton Brand put the kibosh on it. He tried to talk tough on a radio station in Philly, though, and then he had to go back and apologize to Magic because somebody from the Sixers actually did reach out first. But Elton Brand act like, Rob Pelinka called him like, yeah, Ben wanted to talk to Magic. He act like that was the first contact made, and that wasn't the case. But I can see why a general manager would put that, put the kibosh on that. First of all, he's with Clutch. So you already know there might be a leaning
Clutch
towards
gang.
going out to L.A. to play with his pops.
Clutch gang.
Second of all, he's a Kardashian now, and I'm pretty sure they'd rather be chilling in Calabasas than her being front row in Philly every week. There's a lot of things that, could pull this dude over there. And, you get Magic in his ear for a whole summer. Of course they're going to talk basketball. But Magic might be talking basketball to make him a better player for when he's wearing the purple and gold. So, no, we're not doing that, Madge. We're not doing that.
Cut that.
We're not doing that.
Speaking of that, what did you guys think about LeBron in this All-Star? We're not going to get a chance to give all our picks, but for this All-Star game, when his team, and he put out a lot of clutch players. He put a lot of the clutch players on his All-Star.
Yo, he made a trade for Ben Simmons. I think Bron is holding tryouts this weekend. Personally,
so my question
really
is, like,
think
some people were saying that he's tampering with his picks for the All-Star game. What do you think about that?
I think Bron walks that same line, but I think he knows exactly what he's doing, but he's making sure he does everything within the rules. Like I said, that visit to Zion Williamson. Like, LeBron, he used to do that. He went to see Steph Curry back when he was in college. It wasn't on a damn game day. That's why you knew this one was more of a business trip. But LeBron knows how that looks, but he also knows, I'm a player. So if they say something crazy, I'm like, I had nothing to do with that. And it's his word against whatever they try to say. But, yeah, he recruiting this week. He having tryouts. He put a bunch of people on his team that's going to be free agents next season. He's having tryouts.
Shout out to Zion, because he out there getting treated like an IG thought. He got Sean Corey Carter pulling up at his games because he's trying to get him on rotation management. Brown representing Clutch, and Floyd Funny Money said that he getting ready to start the Money Team Sport just because he wants to represent Zion.
He probably do it without a license too. He's just gonna go do it.
I think you're gonna go get it.
I'm not gonna fall for it. But look, this is what we'll do, man. We'll get our picks for all the All-Star festivities, and we'll put them on our social media pages. So look out for that before the festivities start tomorrow night.
Man, thanks everybody for joining us for another briefing in the war. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, everybody in all of our social media platforms and our group chat. Anybody
shout out to Young George.
We appreciate it. Yeah, we got some good calls tonight. So shout out to y'all. Those who couldn't get through, we apologize. Kitch is back here next week. We're going to talk about the NBA season, what happened in the All-Star break, all that good stuff. Catch everything we do at our hub, which is warroomsports.com. Get my book at the hub, also warroomsports.com, or you can get it at sportsthebook.com. But remember, everything we do in terms of content, social media can be found at warroomsports.com. So until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance. We'll see you chumps on top.
Know the blueprint. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Portrait secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, DJ, Stop Back, the Austin. I'm shot. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.
Philly, positioning itself among the best for new, diverse startups.
The community is there for each other.
What our area is doing to inspire and develop entrepreneurs. Plus, everything you need to start your own business. All this week on NBC 10 News Today. Count on it. Stay ahead of every storm with the free NBC 10 app. Track changing conditions in real time with live radar. Get weather alerts customized for your neighborhood and share your pics and videos. Download the free NBC 10 app now. Philly, positioning itself among the best for new, diverse startups.
The community is there for each other.
What our area is doing to inspire and develop entrepreneurs. Plus, everything you need to start your own business. All this week on NBC 10 News Today. Count on it. Stay ahead of every storm with the free NBC 10 app. Track changing conditions in real time with live radar. Get weather alerts customized for your neighborhood and share your pics and videos. Download the free NBC 10 app now.